Hi everyone, 大家好, this is Wei, and today I'm going to do a video talking about endgame team progression, which is where I will discuss how your team should gradually evolve as the new enlightened units start to be released in the global version. Before I start on the video, I just want to say that there are massive spoilers where I will talk about every single new unit in the CN servers and also the best teams. So if you are not comfortable listening to spoilers and stuff, goodbye. If you are, then yay. This video is also targeted for players who have started since the start of the game because I will have to assume you guys are in the end game stage right now. But everyone is free to listen and watch and learn something new. Okay, so let's start with the video. Um, this is what I would assume most people's team in global would look like right now. We have our healer, which is Thimis. We also have Power, our tank. We have our two core DPSs, which are Kuna and Qingluan. Next up, we have a mage of your choosing, which is usually Cynthia or the twins. I don't know, up to you. Either Cynthia or the twins. And we have a flex slot, which most people should be using Valkyrie. This is the most common team in global, I think, right? Okay, I think so. I think so. And I'm just gonna show you guys what the teams will look like as the enlightened units start to be released. So first up, the next enlightened unit to be released is Chen over here. I know everyone's very excited for his release because he is known to be the strongest unit in the game, and that is very true. So with the introduction of Chen, he will surely be replacing the unit in the flex slot, which should be Valkyrie for most people. So you remove Valkyrie, you remove Valkyrie and you would put Chen inside. So Chen is basically, as I said, the strongest unit in the game. He at 10 stars, I can safely say that his damage will either match or outdamage a maxed Guna or Tingluan. And at 11 stars, I am very confident to say that he will outdamage Guna and Tingluan. This is what makes him the best unit in the game. Okay, and now let's discuss the impact of having Chen on the team. So Chen is very scary because let's look at his skill one. So Chen has the highest single target multiplier in the whole game. So as you can see at level 3, he deals 445% damage plus 180% additional true damage on a single unit. Moreover, this damage will bypass Thimis's HP link, which means that even if the opponent has Thimis's HP link buff up, the damage dealt by Chen cannot be distributed to other allies, and so the enemy that Chen attacks on will suffer the full brunt of his attack and receive the whole damage. And this and most of the time, if the enemy is not being protected by power, the Chen will one shot it. So that is how scary Chen is. Because Chen will bypass Thimis's HP link, this very clearly will reduce the value of Thimis in your team. But we do not have any better replacements for Thimis at this moment. So this is how most teams would look like after Chen's release. Okay? Okay. So next up, after Chen, we have the release of Callisto, who is a support-oriented mage focusing on buffing your highest attack unit. She also offers team-wide healing every turn, so that's very nice. Okay. Um. So at this point, we have three core damage dealers, which are Guna, Qingluan, and Chen. So these three cannot be replaced as they make up the majority of your damage. Since Callisto is a support-oriented unit, the three units to be replaced are either Themis, Cynthia, or Bar. Most people would not choose to replace Bar, as he is your last line of defense against an enemy Chen, mostly because Bar can block the damage and potentially save your unit. And also, he himself can tank the damage no problem. So, yeah, most people would not replace Bar. So, the choice goes down to replacing either Cynthia or Themis. With the addition of Callisto, this is where teams start to get a little more variability. Okay, so let's start with the poor people situation. Me. Okay, like me. I'm a poor people. I'm a poor person. Okay, so as you can see, I only have a 10-star Cynthia, and I honestly feel that she is underperforming. She doesn't do much for the team at 10 stars. And a 7-star Callisto can easily replace Cynthia and do what she's doing but way better. So for poor people like me, okay, for F2P players, let me make it sound nicer. For F2P players, the most obvious option is to replace Cynthia with Callisto. Okay? And also because Callisto is the latest released True Limited unit, and so most people would not really have her at high stars. So this is the most straightforward decision to replace Cynthia with Callisto. However, for rich people, for rich people, they probably have a highly invested Cynthia who can survive longer and aid the team more. And at this point in time, most people's chen are already at 10 stars, 11 stars. And this would really decrease the value of Timis on the team as her HP link doesn't really matter much anymore. So for rich people, they would opt to replace Timis with Callisto. Okay, so this is an example of what a rich person's team would look like. And this is how a poor person's team will look like. Okay? Now let's go back to the. Okay, no wait. Let me continue. At this point, most free-to-play players have also noticed that Timis doesn't really have much value except for the healing and the crit rate and attack buff. That's very underwhelming because the HP link doesn't really work anymore. So we are also searching for other options to replace Timis. Then, Elsa miraculously received a buff on her Awakening 20, which will allow her to buff the team with. Hold on, let me show you guys. Okay, so for her skill 2, Elsa received a buff where the attack increase now is 20% instead of the standard 10% for her Awakening 20. And at that point in time, people started to recognize her as a decent general support unit. Okay? And so people have chosen to replace Themis with Elsa. Because let's just compare the two of them. Elsa at 13 stars has a 20% damage resistance team wide buff, which cannot be dispelled. And this buff is very important when it comes to facing an opponent Morchen, because this will straight up reduce your damage received by 20%, which is quite a substantial amount. Okay? As compared to Timis, this buff alone makes Elsa way better already. And you may also wonder where will the team get the healing from then. Um, Elsa's skill 2 will heal the team every single turn. Very similarly, Callisto's soul skill over here also heals the team every turn. So we have two reliable sources of healing every single turn. At this point in time, I am also confident that the Fox person, the Fox Mystic, has also been released, and that is another form of healing for the entire team. So healing at this point in time isn't really a big problem anymore, which is why Elsa will replace Themis. Okay? So this is the poor people scenario. And now let's talk about the rich people scenario again. Okay, at this point, I keep saying at this point, okay, Mo Chen's damage has also completely overshadowed Guna and Qingluan's damage. Okay, I know it's a bit messy, but let's try to keep up, okay? So, Mo Chen's damage will completely overshadow Guna and Qingluan's damage, and this will make both of them seem quite useless. However, Guna's saving point is that she can reduce enemy rage with her skill 1. You know, the second part, the AoE, she can reduce enemies' rage. You guys know that, right? I hope so. So that is her saving point. She is still very useful for the rage reduction part. Now it only boils down to Qingluan, where her only, how do I say, her only use to the team is to deal damage, and her feather mark, which isn't all that useful now, since Mo Chen also has his own targeting thing. So Qingluan honestly doesn't serve much purpose in the team anymore, except for pure damage. And this makes her slightly useless. Okay, since we already have a much better DPS, which is more chen over here. And so Wales have also considered. Hold on, let me go back. So this is what I said the Wales team would look like just now. And some Wales have also decided that since Xingluan doesn't bring anything to the table other than damage, they will much rather replace Xingluan with Elsa, to increase the team's survivability and allow their Morchen to survive longer and deal more damage to the opponent team. Okay, I hope you guys are following. I know it's a bit confusing, but I hope you guys are following. Okay, okay, it's a bit confusing for me too because it happened quite a while ago. But yeah, okay, so this is how it all ends with the addition of Callisto. So as you can tell, Callisto really changed up the teams quite a lot. Okay, now let's summarize the final team configuration with the addition of Callisto. So for scenario 1, if you do not have a highly invested Cynthia or Elsa, then you will use this team configuration with both Themis and Callisto. For scenario 2, if you do have a highly invested Cynthia, then you can use Cynthia and Callisto together. For scenario 3, if you do have both highly invested Cynthia and Elsa, then you can replace Xingluan with Elsa for a more defensive setup. And for the last scenario, if you have a highly invested Elsa but do not have a highly invested Cynthia, then you can just then you can just use this team with both Elsa and Callisto together. So this is the 4 different examples of the team configuration after the addition of Callisto. Okay, so the next unit to be released is Greta, who is a tank. Greta is very simple. You simply replace power with Greta. No change. This is the most simplest change to exist. I've actually seen some people run both Greta and power together, but I'm not really sure how the damage absorption thing would work with 2 people tanking. But I honestly won't really recommend running both of them together. Just replace your power with Greta. Okay, very simple. Last unit to be released is Rhine, who is a dark unit from the assault faction. So she is what you would call an offensive support. She supports the team by applying debuffs to the opponent team. And how she does that is by applying hit rate debuffs to the opponent team. So if you guys don't know what hit rate is, it is basically the percentage chance that your unit's attack will land on the enemy. Uh, like the opposite of dodge. Is that how you say it? Okay, so every single unit when they attack, they have a 100% base chance of hit rate. If Rhine applies a 10% hit rate debuff on you, then you would only have a 90% chance of hit rate, which means that the opponent will have a 10% chance of dodging your attack. So this is what Rhine offers in terms of support. She would apply multiple hit rate debuffs on the opponent team, and this will cause the opponent to miss more of their attacks as they have lower hit rate. Okay, so in other words, Rhine applying hit rate debuffs will allow your team to dodge more of the opponent's attacks. So she is what you would call an offensive support. And most people would then replace either Cynthia or Elsa with Rhine. The more obvious choice is Elsa because she, compared to Cynthia also does revive and other stuff. So people would replace Elsa with Rhine. Okay, and this is what a Wales team looks like right now in CN server. This is the latest, most updated, and presumably the most widely used team. Okay, and let me show you guys examples. Oh my god, I am so out of breath. Okay, so I'm just gonna show you guys the strongest teams. So number 1, we have this guy. Yeah, as I mentioned, we have Qingluan's here. Okay, funny. I honestly would run Kuna in front, but this the first guy, Ryan, Qingluan, Greta, Callisto, Morchen, and Cynthia with Kuna in the assist. But I would much rather use Kuna in front. But player's choice. Second guy, we have Morchen, Callisto, Kuna, um, Rhine, Elsa, Valkyrie. So I don't know. Valkyrie meta also coming back for some reason. I've seen some people using Valkyrie, but yeah, whatever. And so this guy, we have Greta, Rhine, chen, Callisto, Guna, and Cynthia. So this is the example of the team that I've showed just now with Qingluan in the support. What's the second guy support? Oh, no support. Okay. So fourth guy, chen, Qingluan, Greta, Callisto, Guna, and Cynthia. And we have twins in the support. So this guy doesn't use Rhine. That's okay. We're not all rich. Fifth guy, Elsa, Callisto, Greta, Guna, Par, and Mochen. So yeah, this is examples of the top teams. And I've actually seen a lot of Elsa users right now. Look, there's Elsa here, and where I've seen one more Elsa somewhere. Here, another Elsa. So Elsa has also recently gained a lot of popularity. um yeah, just a follow-up video from my previous Elsa video, because I said that she's used more players are using Elsa right now. Okay, so this is how the team in CN progresses over time. I hope you guys understood the part with Callisto, because Callisto's introduction mixed up the things a lot, and I know I'm not very good at explaining. So if you guys have any questions, please come and find me in my Discord server, but I'll be unavailable for a while. I'll be busy for the next month. I'll try to reply you guys if I can. Just message me in my Discord and I will try to message, and I'll try to reply back. Okay. Thank you for watching the whole time. If you're still watching, yeah, and goodbye.